everyone, it's Samantha from samanthawilsonart.com, where you can find specialized art courses and contemporary fine art. Have you ever wanted to draw something simple like a rose or a floral landscape for your home or to gift a friend, but you thought it might be really complicated, so you just bought it online or hired an artist to do it for you? Well, in this video I'm going to show you 3 simple floral designs that you can draw yourself in about 2 minutes. So let's jump right in. For this exercise, you're going to need tissue paper, a plastic eraser, a putty eraser, a charcoal pencil, a blending stick, willow charcoal, and a white pastel. And drawing paper, of course. To get started, place in your base using willow charcoal and blend it all out with your tissue paper. Get your putty eraser and you can shape it into all kinds of little roundish shapes, simply dabbing out the petal shapes inside the charcoal. Add a middle of the flower and a stem using your charcoal pencil, roughly putting in some lines and shadows behind each petal, and then you can take your blending stick and blend over all of those lines and the middle and the leaves to give it some shadows. You can add some more shapes where you feel you need after getting the initial shape down using the putty eraser again. Take a thin plastic eraser and rub out some highlights from around the stem. And you can take your tissue paper at this point and rub around the edges to give it a more smoky effect. And add a black pastel in the middle to give it some more depth. Using your blending stick again to blend that out. And the plastic eraser to add any more highlights that you may want. And voila! There you have a nice little flower. Now for the next one, we start again using your willow charcoal as a base and the toilet tissue. And draw in some loose leaves using your charcoal pencil and the middle of the flower. And your blending stick to blend in some shadows along each line. And use your putty eraser again to just dab out large, loose shapes that basically look like petals inside the charcoal. And we're going to repeat the same steps as the first drawing, using the charcoal pencil to add some lines behind each petal. You can play with this as much as you want, adding less or more, because the drawings happen so quickly. You can just experiment with what you like best, but you can use your blending stick over each line to soften the lines. And I'm just using a plastic eraser here to create some highlights on the top of each petal to make them stand out more. And again, you can play with the background using willow charcoal and the tissue. And drawing number 3, you guessed it, starts in the same way, using charcoal, willow charcoal, and the tissue paper to make a smooth base. And you start with the putty eraser, and this time I'm making larger petals with larger stamps. And you can change the shape to experiment to make it look more organic. Get your willow charcoal to add the middle of the flower and the stem. You can be really loose with this. I like to roll the charcoal on the paper with my fingers to make a very organic looking leaf shape. Add some more depth into the middle of the flower and the leaves using a charcoal pencil. And get your blending stick to blend the charcoal out into the petals to make it look 3-dimensional. I'm sort of flicking the charcoal out into the petal. And adding some highlights on each petal with the plastic eraser to make them stand out more. You can play with that, experiment with the highlights and the shading to make it look more 3D. I'm adding some lights now to the leaves using the plastic eraser again. And here I'm just gonna play and add some grass and some loose stems using some willow charcoal around it to make it look more loose and free. And I'm using my tissue here to blend the charcoal out at the sides to make it look more smoky, a little bit more soft. And I'm gonna play with the background here by taking the putty eraser. Oh, in a second. Adding some dark to the stems in the middle of the flowers again to make them stand out a little bit more. And I'm taking the putty eraser to clean up the edges of the paper, and then I'm just dabbing the putty eraser around the design to give it like a loose border, which looks kind of cool, but you can play with that as much as you want. And there you have it. 3 loose charcoal flower drawings. Quick reminder that if this content was helpful to you and you want to see more of these videos every week, hit subscribe and the like, and if you have a second, just drop a little comment below to let me know if you gave these tips a try. And if you're interested to know more about my more in-depth courses, don't hesitate to get in touch. I would love to hop on a discovery call with you and create a 6-week personalized course. Or if you don't live here in Lisbon, Portugal, where I am, we can do an online session. There's many possibilities. My job here is to help you get better and more confident in your drawing and painting in a super approachable, step-by-step way. And I love to give my time to help you. So until next time, see you soon.